عذري وإدخالك إياي في سعة رحمتك. اللهم فاقبل عذري وارحم شدة ذلي وفكني من شدي وضعفي. يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني ونقة جلدي ودقة عدمي. يا من بدا خلقي وذكري وتربيتي وبري وتغذيتي. حمي لابتداء كرمك وصالح برك بي. يا إلهي وسيدي وربي أتراك معذبي بنارك بعد توحيدك وبعد من طوى علي قلبي من معرفتك ولهج به لساني من ذكرك واعتقده ضميري من حبك وبعد صدق اعترافي ودعائي خاضعا لربوبيتك. هيهات أنت أكرم من أن تضيع من ربيته أو تبعد من ابتليته أو تشرد من آويته أو تصمم عين البلاء من كفيته ورحمته. وليت شعري يا سيدي وإلهي ومولاي أتسلط النار على وجوه صلت عظمتك ساجدا وعلى ألسنة قد بتوحيدك صادقا وبشكرك مادحا وعلى قلوب اعترفت بإلهيتك موافقا وعلى ظواهر هوت من بك حتى صارت خاشعة وعلى جوارح سعت من أوطان تعبدك طائعا وأشارت من سلطانك مدعيا. ما هكذا الظن بك ولا خبرنا بفضلك عنك يا كريم يا رب. وأنت تعلم ضعفي عن قليل من بلاء الدنيا وعقوباتها وما يجري فيها من المكاره على أهلها على أن ذلك بلاء ومكروه قليل مكتوب يسير بقاء قصير مدته. فكيف احتمال بلاء الآخرة وجليل وقوع المكاره فيها وهو بلاء تطول مدته ويدوم مقامه ولا يخفف عن أهله لأنه لا يكون إلا عن غضبك وانتقامك وسخطك. وهذا ما لا تقوم له السماوات والأرض يا سيدي. فكيف لي وأنا عبدك الضعيف الذليل الحقير المسكين المستكين. يا إلهي وربي وسيدي ومولاي لا ينولي إليك أشكو ولما من هذا الجوع بكي لعلم العذاب وشدته أم طول البلاء ومدته. فلا إن سيرتني للعقوبات مع عطائك وجمعت بيني وبين أهل بلائك وفرقت بيني وبين أحبائك وأوليائك. فهب لي يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي وربي صبرت على عذابك فكيف أصبر على فراقك. وهبني صبرت على أمر نارك فكيف أصبر عن النظر إلى كرامتك. أم كيف أسكن في النار والرجاء عفوك. وبعزتك يا سيدي ومولاي أقسم صادقا لئن تركتني ناطقا لألجن إليك بين أهلها ثليج الآمنين ولا أصرخن إليك صراخ المستصرخين ولا أبكين عليك بكاء الفاقدين ولا أنادينك أين كنت يا ولي المؤمنين يا غاية آمال العارفين يا غياث المستغيثين يا حبيب قلوب الصادقين ويا إله العالمين أفتراك سبحانك يا إلهي وبحمدك تسمع فيها صوت عبد مسلم تجنى فيها بمخالفتك وذاق طعم عذابها بمعصيتك وحبس بين دموعها بجرمه وجريمته وهو يضج إليك ضجيج مؤمن لرحمتك ويناديك بلسان أهل توحيدك ويتوسل إليك بربوبيتك يا مولاي فكيف يبقى في العذاب وهو يرجو ما سلف من حلمك أم كيف تؤلم النار وهو يأمل فضلك ورحمتك أم كيف يغرق لهيبها وأنت تسمع صوت وترى مكانا أم كيف يشتمل عليه زفيرها وأنت تعلم ضعفها أم كيف يتقلقل بين أجواقها وأنت تعلم صدقها أم كيف تشعر زبانيتها وهو يناديك يا ربا أم كيف يرجو فضلك في عتقه منها وتترك فيها هيهات ما ذلك فضلك ولا المعروف من فضلك ولا مشبه لما عاملت به الموحدين من برك وإحسانك وباليقين يخدع لولا ما حكمت به من تعذيب جاحتي وقضيت به من إقرار معاندني فجعلت النار كلها بردا وسلاما وما كان لأحد فيها مقرا ولا مقاما لكنك تقدست أسماك أقسمت أن تملاها من القاتلين من الجنة والناس أجمعين وأن تخلد فيها المعاندين وأنت جنتنا فقلت مبتدئا وتطولت بالإنعام متكلما أفمن كان مؤمنا كمن كان فاسقا لا يستوون إلهي وسيدي فأسألك بالقدرة التي قدرتها وبالقديمة التي حكمتها وحكمتها وغلبت من علي جريتها أن تابني في هذه الليلة وفي هذه الساعة كل جرم جرمته وكل ذنب أذنبته وكل قبيح سلمته وكل جهل عملته كتمته وأعلنته أخفيته وظهرته وكل سيئة عملت بطباتها الكرام القاتلين الذين وكلتهم بحفظ ما يكون مني وجعلتهم شهودا علي مع جوارحي وكنت أنت رقيب علي من ورائحهم والشاهد لما خفي عنهم وبرحمتك خفيت وبفضلك سترت وأن توفر هدي من كل خير أنزلت أو إحسان قدرت أو بر نشرت أو رزق بسطت أو ذنب تغفر أو خطأ تستر يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي مالك الطيب يا من بيده ناسيتي يا عليما بذري مسكنتي يا خبيرا بفقري وفاقتي يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب أسألك بحقك وقدسك وعدم صفاتك وسمائك أن تجعل أوقاتي من الليل والنهار بذكرك معمورا وبخدمتك موصولا وعمالي عندك مقبولا حتى تكون أعمالي وأورادي كلها وردا واحدا وحالي في خدمتك سلمة يا سيدي يا من عليه معوني يا من إليه شكوت وحواني يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب قوي على خدمتك جوارحي واشتد على العزيمة جوارحي وهب لي الجد في خشيتك والدوام في الانتصار بخدمتك حتى أسرح عينيك في ميادين السابقين وأسرع عينيك في المبارزين وأشتاق إلى قربك في المشتاقين وأدنو منك ذنوب المخلصين وخافك مخافة الموقنين واجتمع في جوارك مع المؤمنين اللهم ومن أرادني بسوء فأرد ومن كادني فكد واجعلني من أحسن عبيدك نسيبا عندك وأقربهم منزلة منك وأخس زلفة هديك فإنه لا ينال ذلك إلا بفضلك وجد لي بجودك واعتب علي بمجدك واحفظني برحمتك واجعل لساني بذكرك لحجا وقلبي بحبك مطيما ومن علي بحسن إجابتك واقم عثرتي واغفر لي زلتي فإنك قضيت على عبادك بعبادتك وأمرتهم بدعائك وذمنت لهم الإجابة وإليك يا ربي نسبت وجهي وإليك يا ربي مددت يدي وبيسرك استجب لي دعائي وبلغني منايا ولا تقطع من فضلك رجائي واكفني شر الجن والانس من اعدائي يا سريع الرضا يا سريع الرضا يا سريع الرضا اغفر لمن لا يملك الا الدعاء فانك فعال لما تشاء يا من اسمه دواء وذكره شفاء وطاعته غنى ارحم من رأس مالي الرجاء وسلاحه البكاء يا سابغ النعم يا دافع النقم يا نور المستوحشين في الظلم يا عالما لا يعلم صل على محمد وآل محمد وافعل لي ما انت أهله وصلى الله على رسوله والأئمة الميامين من آله وسلم تسليما كثيرا
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد आवाज़ बुलंद नारे सलवात अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद सलवात अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद
हैदर के जनाजे पे अजब मंजर था बेटियां कदमों से लिपटी थी बसद आओ बुका बढ़ के शफीन जो चेहरे से कफन बंद बंद किया, देख कर भाई के चेहरे को ये ज़ैनब ने कहा, रुख से एक बार कफन और हटा दो भैया, मेरे बाबा का मुझे चेहरा दिखा दो भैया, मेरे बाबा का मुझे चेहरा दिखा दो भैया। आज बाबा जो मेरे घर से चले जाएंगे, फिर मुझे शाम गरीबा में नजर आएंगे। इतने दिन कैसे गुजारूंगी बता दो भैया, मेरे बाबा का मुझे चेहरा दिखा दो भैया। जैसे अम्मा की रिदा में थी शफाना की, क्या ये मुमकिन है कि उठ जाए मेरे बाबा भी, मेरी चादर मेरे बाबा को उड़ा दो भैया, मेरे बाबा का मुझे चेहरा दिखा दो भैया। हाय शबीर से ज़ैनब ने कहा रो रो कर, सुना लगता है अमामे के बिना बाबा का सर पे बाबा के अमा माँ तो सजा दो भैया, मेरे बाबा का मुझे चेहरा दिखा दो भैया। कैसे बतलाए दिल गम से हटा जाता है, क्या जुदा बाप से होकर भी जिया जाता है, अपनी बहनों को फकत इतना बता दो भैया, मेरे बाबा का मुझे चेहरा दिखा दो भैया। गम में बाबा जरा देखो तो दूर बैठा है, बुला लाओ मेरे गाजी को पास कुछ देर तो बाके बिठा दो भैया मेरे बाबा का मुझे चेहरा दिखा दो भैया। घर से जाता था जनाजा जो अली का बेटियां कहती थी ज़ीशानो रज़ा रो रो कर आखिरी बार तौबा से मिला दो भैया मेरे बाबा का मुझे चेहरा दिखा दो भैया। रुख से एक बार कफन और हटा दो भैया। रोजेदारो आओ बुका के ये रोज हैं, सादात पे नज़ुले बला के ये रोज हैं, सरताजे औसिया के अज़ा के ये रोज है। तुमसे विदाई शेर खुदा के ये रोज है, तुमसे विदाई शेर खुदा के ये रोज है। हुआ इमाम तुम्हारा नमाज में, जालिम ने रोजेदार तुम्हारा नमाज ले, जालिम ने रोजेदार तुम्हारा नमाज ले। तुम गुजरे हैदर हुआ दुनी ईमां के बुर्ज का महे अनवर हुआ दुनी। सोचो तो फर्क शाह का क्यों कर हुआ दुनी। अरे लिखा है मज़दक करे अदहर हुआ दुनी। अरे ज़हरा ने बाल खोले नबी नंगे सर हुए, तुम बेईमाम और हसन पे फिकर हुए। अरे तुम बेईमाम और हसन पे फिकर हुए। लिखा है जो दुनी हुआ फर्क मुतदा, सिदरा से जिब्राइल के रोने का गुल उठा, अरे फेंकी सरों से ज़ैनबो, कुलसूम ने विदा, चिल्ला के भाइयों को पुकारी कज़ब हुआ, चिल्ला के भाइयों को पुकारी कज़ब हुआ। सुनते हो जिब्राइल ने उस वक्त क्या कहा, वो बोले पीट कर कत्ल मुर्तज़ा हुआ, वो बोले पीट कर कत्ल मुर्तज़ा हुआ। दौड़े ये कह के जानिबे मस्जिद मुनीक़िज़ा, डूबी हुई लहू में मिली कश्ती-ए निजात, माथे पे खून पाप का मल कहीं ये बात। अरे है उठाया किबला हो, काबे पे किसने अरे रुलवाया नाना जान को, दारुसलाम में बेबाका ने मारे सलाम में, बेबाका ने मारे सलाम में। बड़वा चतुर नमाज़ जमात की मुश्तबा, अरे बाबा के सर पे पड़ने लगी आया ये शिफा। अरे नागान के ये किसी औरत ने दी सजदा, ज़हरा के प्यारो तुमसे ये ज़ैनब ने है कहा, अरे ज़हरा के प्यारो तुमसे ये ज़ैनब ने है कहा। बाबा को मेरे जल्द जो घर में न लाओगे, तो सर भरना मुझको भी मस्जिद में पाओगे, तो सर भरना मुझको भी मस्जिद में पाओगे। और बोले अली हवा अभी से बजा नहीं, अरे ज़ैनब से कह दो कूफा है, अरे ज़ैनब से कह दो कूफा है, ये करबला नहीं। मैं बेदियारो बेकसो बेआशना नहीं, शिया है गिर्द नर गए ले जफा नहीं, शिया है गिर्द नर गए जफा नहीं। अरे पर्दे से नंगे सर तू अभी क्यों निकलती है, क्या हल्क पर हुसैन की तलवार चलती है, क्या हल्क पर हुसैन की तलवार चलती है। उम्मुल बनी को पाया जो सदमे में मुब्तला, अरे बाहें गले में डाल के अब्बास ने कहा, ऐ अम्मा सदका देने से रद्द होती है बला, भाई हसन हुसैन है ज़हरा के दिलरुबा। अरे रोशन करो जहां में तुम अपने नाम को, सदा उतारो शाह नजफ पर गुलाम को, सदा उतारो शाह नजफ पर गुलाम को। ये सुन के उस गिरत में समझी वो बेकरार लेकर बलाएं बोली, चलो मेरे गुलजार, बाबा पे तुम निसार हो, तुम पे ये मालिसार। चिल्लाई बढ़ के मजमए मातम में एक बार, अरे सैदानियों बेलगे गम से पनाह दो, सदका उतारने को मैं आई हूँ राह को, अरे सदका उतारने को मैं आई हूँ राह को। बोले अली होश में नौहदर नहीं अब्बास के भकार की तुझको खबर नहीं। अरे ये फातिमा का बेटा है तेरा फिसर नहीं। शबीर के लिए कोई ऐसी सफर नहीं। शबीर के लिए कोई ऐसी सफर नहीं। अरे जहरा से रुतबा पूछिए इस नूर ऐन का। ये करबला में होएगा फिदिया हुसैन का। ये करबला में होएगा फिदिया हुसैन का। Assalamu alaikum. Just a quick reminder, inshallah, tomorrow's majlis will be same as tonight. Start with Salat al-Maghriban and then majlis at 9:15 inshallah. So please tomorrow, inshallah, majlis will be taken out tomorrow night. And for Saturday, the program will start before iftar, inshallah, at 6:30 p.m. I'd like to thank tonight's sponsor, Dr. Abdul Sarah Musbi. Please recite Surah Fatiha for the following moment. Ali Muhammad Musi ibn Mir Ismail Ali, Abid al-Nasabri Kabir Ali Raza Mir Ali Abbas ibn Mir Mubarak Ali, Ali Abbas Musi ibn Ali Ahmad Musi Agha Sayyid Ahmad Shah ibn Agha Hayat Shah, Sayyida Fatim Fahmida Agha bin Sayyid Azizuddin Javed Khushal Khan ibn Khushal Khan ibn Hussain Khan, and Sayyid Mehdi Raza ibn Sayyid Ali Raza and Maulana Muhibullah. बुलंद नारे सलवात अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद। Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد. For the well-being of this community, another salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Finally, for the peace and reappearance of Ramadhan, another very loud salat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وبه نستعين. الحمد لله الذي جعل الحمد مفتاحا لذكره وسببا للمزيد من فضله ودليلا على آلائه وعظمته. ثم الصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أرواحنا له فداء. أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا ادخلوا في السلم كافة ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
مؤمن المؤمنات السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
First and foremost, I give my condolences on the occasion that we are commemorating, and that is the Shahadat of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
मुझसे दरख्वास्त की गई कि मौलाए कायनात के लिए कुछ फजीलत और फज़ाइल पेश करूं। तो मुझे एक नज़्म मिली और मैंने उसमें कुछ अल्फाज और बयान लिखा और इजाफे किया। असली नज़्म तस्नीफ़ी जनाबी मौलवी मुश्ताहिदीन अहमद साहिब इश्क बदाई और नज़्म का नाम मदीह हज़रत मौला अली अलैहिस्सलाम।
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
नज़्म का अली के मर्तबों का हाल कोई और किया जाने। अली के मर्तबों के हाल कोई और किया जाने। जनाब सूर कौनैन जाने या खुदा जाने। अली है वालिद सिद्दीन ज़ौज हज़रत ज़हरा सलामुल्लाह अलैहा। अली इब्न अबी तालिब हैं दामाद शाह वाला। अली है नफ्स पैगंबर, अली है साक़ी कौसर, अली है क़ातिल मरहब, अली है फातिह खैबर।
नारे हैदरी।
ये माना उनका दर्जे इससे आला उससे। ये माना उनका दर्जा इससे आला उनसे ऊंचा है। ये उनकी मद में फिर भी किसी ने खूब लिखा है। ये नज़्म की बात है। ये उनकी मद में फिर भी किसी ने खूब लिखा है। ये हकीकत का बयान ये है। ये उनकी मद में फिर भी किसी ने खूब ना लिखा। ये उनकी मद में फिर भी किसी ने खूब ना लिखा। सिर्फ मौलाए कायनात लिखाई और बताई कहाँ नहजुल बलागा में। जो लिखाई और लड़ाई दोनों फजीलत है अली की। तो लड़ाई और लिखाई दोनों फजीलत है अली की। एक खूब है और दूसरा बेहतर और अफजल है। जंग और लड़ाई माजी में रहती है और मौलाए कायनात मुबारक अल्फाज और बयान भी अभी जिंदा है। So we have the fazilat of Amir al-Mu'mineen, without doubt, yes. He is the one who had the victory over Khaybar. He is the husband of Fatima Zahra, Nafsi Paygambar. He has all of these fazilats. And one fazilat is these things that happen in history. The other fazilat is Mubarak al-Faz al-Bayan. That's what he stated, what he said, what he wrote. Those things that happened in the past, yes, they were in the past, and it's good to know about them. But we may not find a practical application now. But what he wrote and what he said, he's in there. And it is living now, and it is applicable now, that we can apply his words and whatever he wrote to our life today and every time. Even in the future, those words are applicable. So yes, there are these two fazilats, but one, they're both good, but one is better. That one that you can apply across time and any time and any place. This is Nahnu So this is why we see that we take those historical events, Khaybar, Khandak, those battles. There was a purpose for which Imam Ali alayhi salam, he sacrificed, he fought in these battles, and that was to establish justice. As we mentioned before, that in order to establish and bring about this aspect of human life that we all need, and that is security. In its multiple dimensions, security with regards to our job, security with regards to our economics, security with regards to our society and the place that we live, security with regards to our health. This is what Imam al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib, this is what he stood for. In fact, in one of the statements that is attributed to Imam Ali, because we know that Imam Ali, that there was no one more braver than Imam al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib. He is Haydar. He's the lion of Allah. But Imam Ali, as one of the hadith is attributed to him, he says, he says that if you want to compare bravery, physical bravery, standing on a battlefield, fighting, or justice, establishing justice, which one is better? He says, establishing justice is better. Why? He says, لأن الناس لو استعملوا العدل عموما في جميعهم استغنوا عن الشجاعة. He says, if justice was applied, if justice prevailed among people, that sense of security would be. And one would need to kind of stick his chest out and think that, his shoulders like he's brave. It is more difficult to establish justice than it is to simply fight on the battlefield. This is the meaning. And likewise, it is also related to Imam Ali alayhi salam, when one of his companions asks him, says, Ya Maulana, ayyuhuma afdal? Which one is better? Al-adl or al-jud? Is it better to be just, or is it better to be generous? Which one do you? Imam Ali, yes. He said it is better to be just than generous. Why? He says because if a person is just, what happens, everything is placed in its rightful place. He says, but generosity, that when you're kind to someone, you can be kind to someone, perhaps they don't deserve it. But when we look at the Sirat of Ahlul Bayt alayhim, because I don't want anyone to walk away from here and think, oh, hey, this, I was talking against being generous. No, generosity was the trait and characteristic of Rasulullah and Ahlul Bayt alayhim. In fact, Imam Jawad alayhi he was given this kunya, this name, and Jawad because of his generosity. Because of his generosity. So where there's a balance line, and everything has a balance. If you want to look at the life of that balance line, yes, that person may not have deserved that generosity, but that generosity was given in order to bring them back to this sense of balance. To bring them back into this fold of security. How do we know this? Where do we know this from? This is why, subhanAllah, and our ulama, when they say that it is more important in this blessed month of Ramadan, not just to simply finish through the du'as or finish through the Quran, but reflect upon it. This idea and this concept is in dua iftitah. Where at one point in the dua, we speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, Ya Allah, I've done all of these things. Again, this is the time for us to take account of ourselves. We know ourselves better than anyone else, except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's the time to take account of ourselves. But we speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say, Ya Allah, that I've done all of these things which I know I shouldn't do. These things which you have told me not to do, but yet, what do you do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? You give me that which I don't deserve. You give me mercy. You forgive my sins to the point that myself, I'm astonished. And then what do we say? فَسِرْتُ أَدْعُوكَ آمِنًا. So I now have come into the state where I'm calling upon you in a state of security. Because although I've done wrong, although I have transgressed, although I have been a disobedient servant, Allah, you showed me nothing but kindness. You've forgiven my sins. You've granted me my needs, even though I did not deserve that. This is a Judah of Allah. So that what? So that we would come back to that state of balance and have security. So I come in the state of security that I feel that, oh, now I feel safe talking to you. Why? Because if there was someone that you needed to talk to, but they never treated you kind. They never overlooked your shortcomings. But rather, they always threw your shortcomings back in your face. Like, oh, no, you did this, you did that. Do you feel secure to talk to that person? To come before that person? Or you feel ashamed that, oh, no, I can't go before this person. Because if I talk to this person, I know the first thing that they're going to do. They're going to start pointing out all the things that I did wrong. They're going to point out all the things. Hey, you borrowed money from me. You're coming back for more? Hey, you pay me back the money that you took from me the first time, and then I'll think about it. We've gotten the sustenance and the risk from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And perhaps we didn't do with it what we should. But yet in these nights of Ramadan, and especially in the nights of Qadr, again we come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because we know, oh, hey, our destiny for the year is going to be determined. Allah, Allahumma rizqni. Allah, give me a risk, give me more risk. And what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do? He gives you more risk. Or he makes that risk that you already have secure. That, oh, I'm still receiving my risk. I didn't lose my job or my house, or you still maintain that. Although our book of deeds and a'mal are not as this. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to give you that sense of security. But listen, even if you have disobeyed me, and I've forgiven you, and forgiven you, and forgiven you, and have given to you, and have given to you, and given to you, I want you to feel secure that you can come before me. So that you would return back to this sense of security. وَسِرْتُ أَدْعُوكَ آمِنًا. come into the state of security, and then what? Well, stop me. Then you call upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a fresh intention. With that intention that, yes, you showed me such kindness, Ya Allah, but now let me be sincere in your obedience. Let me be sincere in doing what I should, doing my part, Ya Allah. Fortunately, we didn't get a chance. Last night was kind of late. So we didn't get a chance to go through all of the du'as together in the night of Qadr. Inshallah, these next 2 nights of Qadr that are coming up, perhaps we'll get a chance to recite one of those du'as that in it as well talks about this idea and concept of security. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to be secure in front of Him. Wants you to understand. And He tells us in that dua, there is an idea and concept, not simply just reading the dua, but reflecting upon the duas that we've been given by Ahmadiyya. And what are they teaching us? It is the munajat of Amir al-Mu'mineen. And in that dua, in that munajat, how do we begin that munajat? First couple of lines of that munajat, what is it speaking? What is it speaking? It's about security, giving you that sense of security. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allahumma inni as'aluka aman. Allah, I ask you for security. I ask you for protection. I ask you for safety. Allahumma inni as'aluka al-aman yawma la yanfa'u malun wa la banun. On a day where none of our wealth, none of our children or relationships will be able to protect us on that. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma inni as'aluka al-aman yawma يعض الظالم على يديه يقول يا ليتني اتخذت مع الرسول سبيلا. The oppressor on that day, well, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for aman and security on that day, that the zalim, that the oppressor, God forbid that we are oppressors. God forbid that we have oppressed someone else's rights. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for security on that day, which those who have oppressed others, they will bite down on their hands and state that, oh, only if I had followed the path of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The whole first part of that dua, that munajat, is about that asking for security. And then we get to the part in that dua where we understand the secret of security as well, that if we want to be in balance, and as we mentioned yesterday, the mu'min is that person who other mu'mineen, other Muslims are secure from their hands, their tongues, their oppression, or any injustice. This is the mu'min, that is the Muslim, that they guarantee security for others. And especially for your fellow Muslim, your fellow co-religionists, and guarantee them security. And how do we do that? When we read that dua, this munajat, there are many qualities that Imam Ali alayhi mentioned for Allah. For example, he says, Anta raziqu wa ana raziq. Oh Allah, you're the one who sustains us. You're the one who gives us our risk, and I'm the one who receives the risk. And who will be merciful to that one who receives sustenance and the one who is giving the sustenance? Oh Allah, you are the one who is, for example, you're the one who is forgiving. And I am the one who, or Anta Rahimu, I am Marhum. You're the one who gives mercy and forgiveness. I'm the one who's the recipient of mercy and forgiveness. And who will be merciful and kind to the one who is the recipient of that mercy or compassion, except the one who is given that mercy. So what is this teaching us? What is this teaching us? Because in each one, which each of these qualities that he mentions about Allah, he says, and who will have mercy upon that person. So they're kind of like opposites. Allah, He's the sustainer, He's the creator. I am the created, I'm the one who's sustained, I am the one who's asking, you're the one who gives. And who will have mercy upon the one who's asking, except the one who gives. We have to tie this in with the teaching of Rasulullah, Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He tells us, he says, adopt the traits and the akhlaq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What does this mean? Of course, we will not become divine and we will not become a demigod. But we understand this idea and concept of mercy that Allah shows us, so then we should show mercy to Allah's creation. We understand this forgiveness that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows us, so we should forgive Allah's creation. This is this idea and concept of embodying the akhlaq, the traits and characteristics of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So how do we achieve this aman? By embodying those characteristics of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If His creation asks of us and we give, we should give with compassion and mercy. And what is that compassion and mercy? That compassion and mercy is understanding the state of others. Understanding that this person may be in difficulty. Let me help this person. And so when we see that we talk about the fadilat of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib, that which historically is in the past and we read about it, and yes, it's great for us to know, but it should inspire us to be that way and understand why Imam Ali, why the Ahlul Bayt that when they're fasting and their children fasting, and when the yatim and the miskeen and the asir, when they came to their house, they gave their food. They were also fasting, they were also hungry. To the point that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he realized that this is happening. He saw this. Rasulullah. But why? Because of that idea and concept of being compassionate towards Allah's creation. Amir al-Mu'mineen on the battlefield, whether it was in Badr or Uhud, Khaybar, Khandaq, whatever it was to establish justice. So that fadilat of Amir al-Mu'mineen, there's a purpose behind it. And that's what we need to understand. What was that purpose? What was Imam Ali alayhi trying to do? It was to accomplish the same mission of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was to fulfill what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had delivered to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the Quran. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu who believe, enter into the state of submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you're submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you enter into a state of peace. You're that individual who can guarantee peace for others. But when we don't enter into that submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is where at least in this aspect that we're speaking about, this sense of security, this is where we go out of balance. Because we need to find that balance. Where does that balance lie? So if we're out of balance with regards to this idea and sense of security, that means that that individual, with their life, they're in constant pursuit of material wealth and success. Again, this is the most important thing. That person doesn't care about whoever they have to step on and trample on in order to achieve that objective. That individual is excessively greedy. They will hoard wealth. They will hoard whatever it is, as long as they have it. They don't care if others have or don't have or in need. This is why within the Sharia of Islam, yes, people can have, there's nothing against a monopoly per se, but if it's in such a way that that product is being hoarded and a price is put on it where the people cannot afford it, especially if it's a need, it's a basic need, Islamic Sharia comes in and says, no, you can't. Those individuals live a life, and I'll come back to this idea, this concept, live a life of takathuri. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. These people who are striving to collect in wealth, and they're greedy, they're competing again for this role, they're in the rat race. Versus the life of Kawthari. Kawthari, the life of Kawthari is Inna a'tinaka Kawthar. It's abundant of blessings. Now I'll come back to that. That person who's out of balance in their sense of security will become narcissistic. The only people they care about is themselves. Or maybe their immediate family. Other than that, they don't care. Have absolutely no care for others. Another aspect is that we'll see that when this idea and sense of security in the most balanced of state is not there, this is when you will find, and you can look around the world, you'll see this, that when your quote unquote security budget is greater than that of your welfare budget to take care of your people. Read history, look what's going on in the world today, all over the world. That when you can spend more money to kill people than to save their lives. Yeah, that sense of security is out of balance. So even supposedly a first world country, you have a city that don't even have fresh drinking water. The basic necessity. You can spend millions and billions of dollars to create bombs and weapons. So where's the sense of security? It is out of balance. It is out of balance. So when we look at the, and this is what we mean, how come to sense this idea, concept of Kawthari and Takathari. Very beautiful point that some of our ulama they have made. And what is this? What is the life of Kawthari? If we have this life of Kawthari, person can have little, but in that little that they have, there's abundance of blessing. And Takathari, a life of Takathari, a person can have a lot, millions and tons, there's no barakah in that. If they're not doing what they should do. One of the scholars in Iran, he gave a very beautiful example, and it's subhanAllah. And he said that there's a masjid, and usually the masjids and places of worship here, They're not built by homes. Actually, people give them money to build. So he said that, there's one place where a huge masjid was very beautiful, very decorated. Person who built it had tons of money. So he built it and he's like, oh, mashallah. And everyone's like, oh, subhanAllah, oh wow, look at the art, look at the marble work, look at the calligraphy, very beautiful. But when it comes time for salah, there's only 2-3 people. He says that's the takathuri. A lot was spent. There's very little back. Why? Because it wasn't built with that sincerity. It's like, oh, praise this place. Look what I got. And he says, on the other hand, he says, there's a masjid of Kalfay. He says, very small masjid on the highway. He says, but when you go in it, packed tons of people. That so many people pray in that masjid that the rugs are worn out. He says, that's Kalfay. It's small. It's not that beautifully decorated, but it's full of barakah. He says that our life can be like this too. That if whatever we earn, whether it's a little or it's a lot, we have to see that how are we making use of that risk of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Is it takathuri that we just have it and we're collecting it and there's no barakat in it? Or no, we have it. Yes, we spend on ourselves to take care of ourselves, our family, our community, and there's barakah in that sustenance, in that risk that we have. And that's the balance in security, at least within economic security. So,
اللهم صل على محمد.
as I mentioned that Imam al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, he gave a very beautiful example, which also dimensions about this idea and concepts of security. And that's with regards to the judge. As Imam Ali, he wrote to Maulana Muhibullah, he says, let's check, select your judge carefully, make sure that they have both job security, he has a good place and station with you, and then also economically that judge is secure, because this is a very sensitive aspect of the society. You don't want your judge to be corrupted and bought off by other people, because that will destroy the security within that society. Likewise, in his advice to Ibn Ashtar as well, he tells him about the military. He says, you have an army, you have a military, and they also secure and make the society and those who are living in that society secure. And he says, he puts that in perspective. So look at the military strategy of the middle. It's not simply that, hey, the objective is to create war, start war. No, the objective is create justice and security in the world. That's what it means, actually. He says that your military is what? Subul al-aman. They're a means towards security. They're not the begin and end all of security. No, they're just a means. And this is why Imam Ali alayhi salam, he says that he says that the military what? تدفعني الصلح. He says ليست قوم الرعية إلا بهم. He says لا تدفعن صلحا دعاك إليه عدوك. He says, but the military is a means towards security. He says, but if you have someone who's an enemy and they say, hey, let's make peace. No, he says, then don't disregard that. He says, make that peace. He says, make that peace. لا تدفعن صلحا دعاك إليه عدوك والله فيه رضا, and especially if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be pleased with that. فإن في الصلح دعة لجنك. This is why, because it will give your military ease. Meaning that Islam is not about starting wars, rather to quell the wars and create peace and security. So let me be clear, because again, he has two sons, right? One made peace, the other one stood up. That peace which is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning that there are perimeters. Where's the perimeter? Where's that balance? That balance is that, look, if your enemy is asking you for peace, then you establish that peace which is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning that it is not going to remove the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, yes, boundaries of Allah will still be able to, there will be still some advocacy for it. It will not be silent. And this is why Imam Hassan, he made peace. Okay. This person is not rightfully the Khalifa, will make peace. Why? Because it will safeguard Islam. It will safeguard the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the son didn't want to have anything to do with Islam. This is established in the history, not our history that we wrote as followers of Ahlul Bayt. Tabari, Sayyuti, Al-Falisha, yes, if Yazid would have rebelled in what he was doing, then there would be no sins of Islam. And that was the line. And that's why Imam Hussein, Ali Habib says, no, if it not make peace, why? Because the name of Islam will not prevail. It is even found in the poetry of Yazid that still remains today. What did he say? After the martyrdom of Imam Hussein, Ali Habib, he recites his poetry. He says, if my forefathers in Badr, who are the forefathers in Badr? They were all mushrikeen who were killed in that battle. He says, if my forefathers in Badr, if they see what I've done today, then they will know that how good I am to seek revenge on their behalf from the Hashim. Allah. So we see that there are boundaries and there are parameters. And another very, very beautiful advice that Imam Ali is given to Ashtar. And this is very relevant because, like I said, the writings of Amir al-Mu'mineen, this is where the greatest fill-out is. He's writing this to Ashtar. The application is there, but also the application is now. He tells Malik Ashtar, he says, لابد للناس من أمير بر أو فاجر. Whatever it is, people, a society needs a leader. There's going to be a leader. That leader will either be a good leader, righteous leader, birran or fajr, or tyrant. But in either case, a society needs someone at the helm, needs someone leading that society. The Imam Ali says, يعمل في أمرته المؤمن ويستمتع فيها الكافر. He says, and so you'll see that that person who's leading, whether they are a righteous person or they are a corrupt person, what is the position of the mu'min? You know, what was the mu'min? One who guarantees safety. It says that person who is a believer in both cases, ya'mal fi imrati. That mu'min is one who is acting righteous and good in both cases. That mu'min, again, is that symbol of aman, of security. Whether you're living under a tyrant or whether you're living under a righteous ruler. But the one who disbelieves, one who disbelieves, especially when he's living under tyranny, takes pleasure. Yes, Then he says, وَيُبَلِّغُ اللَّهُ فِيهَا الْأَجْرِ. This is but that is only for a time. There's only a time. Again, our life in this world is measured by time. We will not live forever. Tyranny will not prevail forever. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will set that time, يُجْمَعُ بِهِ الْفَيْء وَيُقَاتَلُ بِهِ الْعَدْلُ. So that then the tides will turn, the tyrant will meet his death, and that which they have unrightfully taken, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take back. وَيُؤْمَنُ بِهِ السُّبُلُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make sure that the roads, again, traveling and interacting will be something that is secure and be safe. وَيُؤْخَذُ بِهِ لِلضَّعِيفِ مِنَ الْقَوِيِّ. This is all of those who have taken away from the weak, the mustada'af, meaning that those who have been downtrodden, their rights have been trampled, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take their rights back from those who have usurped their rights. حَتَّى يَسْتَرِيحُ الْبِرُّ وَيُسْتَرَاحُ مِنْ فَرَجَهُ. To the point that those who are righteous, they will be at ease and will live free and secure from the tyranny of the tyrant. Imam Ali, he's telling this to Ashtar. But when we reflect upon those words, I do not give you hope and inspire you to be among those righteous, those symbols of security within that society, and waiting for that time, that moment when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will make justice prevail over injustice. That won't mean He didn't say that this was about Imam Islam, but when you read it, you understand it as well. Yes, it's about Imam. And each of our Imam alayhi ma'afur, they were the Imam of their time. And have the people been ready? And this is within the riwayat of Ahlul and this is in the teachings of Ahlul. Have the people been ready? If they were ready, injustice would have prevailed. One individual, this is last point, one individual came to Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam. And this person was a companion of Imam Mu'min Ali ibn Abi Talib. When he came to Imam Zayn al-Abidin, he says, I was a companion of your grandfather. And your grandfather, he said that the Mahdi will rise very soon. Within some amount of years, it was a very short period of time. Within like 20, 30 years, the Mahdi will come. So he asked Imam Zayn al-Abidin, he says, what happened? We're waiting for the Mahdi. Imam Zayn al-Abidin, he answered, he said, listen, this idea and this concept of a Mahdi, the one who is the guy, he says, this is all of the end. He says, and when the Mahdi appeared during that time period of the Imam was talking about, what happened? They martyred him. No one would follow him, but someone would. That when he was there in your presence, why didn't you follow? Why didn't the people follow? Why didn't they stand with Hussein ibn Ali to raise the banner of justice and security within the Ummah and within the world? What should we say about the life of Noah? Safin, Nahrawan. What should we say? Jannah. that here the Imam is among you and he's calling for justice, he's calling for righteousness. The Imam who, just so that you understand, not simply for the believers, but for the entire world. Not for someone who says that, oh, hey, I'm Muslim, but for the entire creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is why, we also in one account, when an anklet of a woman was stolen, this woman was not Muslim. Read not your life. Imam Ali was furious that how is it that the anklet of this woman in the better than Islam, in the place where we say, hey, we're Muslim, we submit to Allah, how is it stolen and no one says anything? Provide security for that individual. That's a problem. Imam Ali tells Malika Ashar that when you make peace and offers peace, listen to what Imam Ali says. And no country acts in this way. No country. Why? Because that idea and sense of security is out of whack. It's not in balance. Imam Ali tells Malika Ashar, he says, look, you make peace for those who are offering peace. He says, if someone who is a combatant, not part of Dar al-Islam, again, because Egypt at that time was at the border between the Byzantine Empire and Islam. He says that if someone, yesterday, they were fighting you, they were a soldier fighting you, but they come into the Islam and they say, hey, look, we've given up our arms, we don't want to fight anymore, give us sanctuary. He says, give them sanctuary. Because again, make sure that they're sincere about that. Don't just let them in. He says, let them in. He says, and whatever his crime was from before, yes, if he's killed some of your soldiers, because he's seeking refuge, he's seeking, to come in and he's laying down his arm, then don't hold him against that. Don't hold him accountable for killing your Ben after he was a combatant, as long as he's coming to live in peace. Why? Because that sense of security is not simply for the entire world. This is injustice. This is the Imam that people fell to follow. They fell to follow. And then because their sense of security was out of whack, greed prevailed. That for a few coins, for a bride, you will martyr one individual who's advocating for everyone's right, who's advocating for the rights of Allah's creation. SubhanAllah. Now do you understand that how difficult a moment it was? That those who realized this about Amir al-Mu'mineen, that he was struck in the head, and in these nights, he's breathing his last breath. That his martyrdom is certain, that when the doctor came in and he saw that Amir al-Mu'mineen's face had begun to turn yellow, and Imam Ali, he says, yes, this is a sign that Rasulullah stated, that when my face turns the color of my yellow, that know that this is the time that you will begin to return back to Allah. They said in the night like this, that death, that martyrdom was certain. Amir al-Mu'mineen, he will call his children to come see him. And they will come in one by one. They will come and see, and sometimes they will come in collectively to see Amir al-Mu'mineen. In one of those visitations, Imam Hassan al-Mushtaba, he came to visit his father. And as he sat close to Amir al-Mu'mineen, Just like how Imam Ali was resting, his eyes were closed. But he was awoken by the tears and cries of Imam Hassan. And he looked at Imam Hassan and he began to say, Ya Bunayya, Ya Hassan, Ya Ma hada al-buka wal-jaza' يا بني تجزع على أبيك وغدا تقتل بعدي مسموما مظلوما ويقتل أخوك بالسيف هكذا وتلحق بجدكما وأبيكما وأمكما يا Imam Ali. He looked at Imam Hassan crying and shedding tears, said, Beta, hey Hassan, hey Beta, hey Hassan, that, oh my son, oh Hassan, what is this crying? Why are you alarmed? What are you sensitive about, oh my son, oh Hassan? Hey Miralal, Kia Chum, Apne Bab ko, Khauf Zare ko, Zare Karte ho, or Kal Chuche, Kasina Haka Zahra de Kara Maragahi, and tomorrow that you will be killed by poison, Al Hassan, or Tumhar Bahai, Istara Talbar say Marajahiga, that you will be killed by poison, Al Hassan, and your brother, he will be killed by the sword. And so today you're crying for me, that tomorrow that your time will come, Al Hassan, oh my son Hassan. He says, don't be frightened in this moment. Don't be frightened, oh my son. Or tum apne dada, or apne bab, or apne maa se. Mil jayogi, that tomorrow, that after you are martyred, then you will meet your grandfather, you will meet your mother, you will return back to your father. This will be the state of you, O Hassan. So in this moment, don't cry for me. That what was the state of Imam al-Hassan? That this is the grandson of Rasulullah. This is Sayyid Shabab al-Jannah. This is the beloved grandson of Rasulullah. And when Imam Hassan is poisoned, what happens to the body of Imam Hassan? They would not even allow the one that the Prophet will put on his lap, the one that the Prophet will kiss on his forehead, the one that the Prophet would stop his khutbah and pick up Imam Hassan, and likewise Imam Hussein. They would not even allow his body to be buried beside Rasulullah. They said at one moment as well, and this is Muhammad ibn Hanafiya, the son of Imam Ali. He said at one point, we helped our father, me and Hussein, we helped him get up and go to his prayer place. He says, and as we took him to his prayer place, Imam Hussein began to cry. He began to cry, and he began to say, oh my father, after you, what are we going to do? What are we to do after you, oh my father? After your death, that your death for us is like the death of Rasulullah, like the day that Rasulullah, he also parted from this world. What did Imam Ali, what did he say to Imam Hussein? Is it Mirabait? First Imam Ali, he puts his hands on the chest of Imam Hussein. He says, Mirabaiti, Khuda ne abke dil ko sabr aur istiqamat se mazboot kiya hai. That may Allah give you patience. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you strength. Imam Ali, he puts his hand on the chest of Imam Hussein. That chest of Imam Hussein, that in Karbala, on the day of Ashura, that a three-pronged spear would pierce the chest of Imam Hussein. Let's look at this state. Amir al-Mu'mineen, he is lucky on this day that Amir al-Mu'mineen in his martyrdom, he has his sons who will come and they will bury him after he passes away. But in Karbala, on the day of Ashura, where were the sons of Hussein who will be able to come and to bury their father? The sons are martyred, and one son is ill. The sons are martyred, and the other son is in chains, and the body of Hussein remains in the plain of Karbala. That's how lucky Amir al-Mu'mineen is. وإنا إليه راجعون وسيعلم الذين ظلموا وإيهم قريبون اللهم بحق هذا المجلس معنا اغفر لنا واستر عيوبنا وقضي حوائجنا واشفي مرضانا ورحم موتنا وعجل فرجه لا بصاحب العصر والزمان واجعلنا من أعوانه المنسابين والمستشفين إليه تحت بحق محمد وآله الصالحين باطن الحسين
Yari Mola, Haidar Mola, 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 Yari Mola.
देख लीजिएना तेरा जख्मी बाबा घर लौट के आया है कानों पे उठाए यूं बेटे लाए लगता है जनाजा है आ देख लीजिएना तेरा जख्मी बाबा घर लौट के आया है आ देख लीजिएना तेरा जख्मी बाबा घर लौट के आया है आ देख लीजिएना तेरा जख्मी बाबा लौट के आया कानों पे उठाए यूं बेटे लाए लगता है जनाजा है आ देख देना तेरा जख्मी बाबा घर लौट के आया है आ देख देना तेरा जख्मी बाबा घर लौट के आया है मुश्किल से सफर ये देख किया जारी लम्हों का दरिया मुश्किल से सफर ये देख किया जारी है लम्हों का दरिया मस्जिद से घर तक है हर एक कदम पर पेटों ने संभाला है आ देख देना तेरा जख्मी बाबा लौट
के आया है।
देख ज़ैना तेरा
ज़ख्मी बाबा घर लौट के आया है।
हालत नहीं अजब है बाबा की, पहचानना मुश्किल होगा। हालत नहीं अजब है बाबा की, पहचानना मुश्किल होगा। ज़हरा की गरीबी याद आए कभी भी, तेरे खून में चेहरा है। देख ज़ैना
तेरा ज़ख्मी बाबा घर लौट के आया है।
देख ज़ैना
तेरा ज़ख्मी बाबा घर लौट के आया है।
अब शाम गरीबों में तुमको ये चेहरा नजर आएगा। अब शाम गरीबों में तुमको ये चेहरा नजर आएगा। ऐसा नहीं ज़हरा कुछ रोज का मेहमान, अब आपका बाबा है। देख ज़ैना तेरा ज़ख्मी बाबा घर
लौट के आया है।
अब शाम गरीबा में तुमको ये चेहरा नजर आएगा। अब शाम गरीबा में तुमको ये चेहरा नजर आएगा। ऐसा नहीं ज़हरा कुछ रोज का मेहमान, अब आपका बाबा है। देख ज़ैना
तेरा ज़ख्मी बाबा
घर लौट के आया है। देख ज़ैना तेरा ज़ख्मी बाबा
घर लौट के आया है।
रोज अकेले आना है इस शहर में तुझको बीबी। रोज अकेले आना है इस शहर में तुझको बीबी। क्या होगा न जाने शहजादी अभी से, बदला हुआ खूबा है। देख ज़ैना
तेरा ज़ख्मी बाबा घर लौट के आया है।
शाबर का जिगर शबीर गजर, आवाज जरी के बाजू। शबर का जिगर शबीर गजर, आवाज जरी के बाजू। काटते देखोगी ए बाबा की प्यारी, ये ज़ख्म तो बहरा है। देख ज़ैना तेरा ज़ख्मी बाबा घर लौट के आया है। यासिन
हैदर मौला, हैदर मौला, हैदर मौला, मौलाना
हैदर मौला
यारी मौला
हैदर मौला
यारी मौला
हैदर मौला
यारी मौला
हैदर मौला
अली के अली क्यों लेते हैं ज़ैनब का नाम मुसन्ने पर रो रो के अली क्यों लेते हैं ज़ैनब का नाम मुसन्ने पर रो रो के अली क्यों लेते हैं ज़ैनब का नाम मुसल्ले पर क्या याद अली को आया है बाजार शाम मुसल्ले पर रो रो के अली क्यों लेते हैं ज़ैनब का नाम मुसल्ले पर मुजाहिद ज़ख्मी सर से रोते थे नमाज़ी सब में खड़े खुदारी ज़ख्मी सर से रोते थे नमाज़ी सब में खड़े किस तरह संगे दूरों पर की फज्र तमाम मुसल्ले पर रो रो के अली क्यों लेते हैं ज़ैनब का नाम मुसल्ले पर क्या माँ की तरह ले तुमको मस्जिद में चली आए ज़ैनब क्या माँ की तरह ले तुमको मस्जिद में चली आए ज़ैनब बाबा को जाकर तू फिजा मेरा पैगाम मुसल्ले पर रो रो के अली क्यों लेते हैं ज़ैनब का नाम मुसल्ले पर ज़ख्मी पे रो जब याद आया ज़ख्मी पेशानी भूल गया ज़ख्मी पे रो जब याद आया ज़ख्मी पेशानी भूल गया ज़हरा की मुसीबत पर रोया मज़लूम इमाम मुसन्ने पर रो रो के अली क्यों लेते हैं ज़ैनब का नाम मुसल्ले पर ये पहली फज्र ज़ैनब की सजदे में सुकून मिलता ही नहीं ये पहली फज्र ज़ैनब की सजदे में सुकून मिलता ही नहीं दिन डूबता है आता नहीं एक पल आराम मुसल्ले पर रो रो के अली क्यों लेते हैं ज़ैनब का नाम मुसल्ले पर उस गैरतदार की गुर्बत पर रोती है अली की गुर्बत भी उस गैरतदार की गुर्बत पर रोती है अली की गुर्बत भी 40 बरस जो कहता रहा अशाम शाम मुसल्ले पर रो रो के अली क्यों लेते हैं ज़ैनब का नाम मुसल्ले पर क्या याद अली को आया है पासाग शाम मुसल्ले पर रो रो के अली क्यों लेते हैं
ज़ैनब का नाम मुसल्ले पर हो। यारी मौला, यारी मौला, यारी मौला, हैदर 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 मौला। यारी मौला, हैदर मौला, यारी मौला, हैदर ज़हरा वावैला, ज़हरा वावैला, इब्न ज़हरा वावैला, ज़हरा वावैला, इब्न ज़हरा वावैला, ज़हरा वावैला, इब्न ज़हरा वावैला, ज़हरा वावैला, वावैला सद वावैला, ज़हरा वावैला, वावैला सद वावैला, ज़हरा वावैला, वावैला सद वावैला, ज़हरा वावैला, ज़हरा वावैला, ज़हरा वावैला, ज़हरा वावैला, ज़हरा वावैला। Hi, 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 hi. Y'all sing, y'all sing, y'all sing, y'all sing, y'all sing, y'all sing, y'all sing. Who sing? 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 السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا حسن المصطفى. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت في النهاية. عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله في أفضل ولا جعل الله آخر لكم مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. السلام عليك غريب الغرباء. السلام عليك يا معين الزوفاء الفقراء. السلام عليك يا مغيث الشيعة والزوارف من الجزاء. السلام عليك يا أبو الحسن علي بن موسى الرضا وانشفنا شفيه والدنا في الجزاء. صلوات الله على أبائك سواء ابنك الأربعة وخلفاء المعصومة جميعا رحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا صاحب يسر الزمان. الأمان الأمان الأمان. السلام عليك شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان. أرجو الله تعالى فرجك وسهل تعالى مخرجك وظهورك وجعلنا من أنصارك وعوانك. السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم كن لوليك للحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آله في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك